Speaking of colonizing and,
China.
well, no, but the point you made in memes.
Oh, that.
Let
What, the
me
video or what I said underneath it?
let me tell you about what the natives in Australia are getting up to. What they're
Oh
whining
god.
about this time.
Whitey.
Yeah, the family of an Aboriginal man who died in custody don't want him to be just another statistic. Okay, well, too bad he
Okay.
already is.
What do they want him to be then?
Yeah. So, last week, 43-year-old Doesn't Matter became the ninth Aboriginal person to die in police or prison custody since March. Do I need to remind you that March was months ago?
What did he die from?
I'm gone for a minute. Already we're back in Australia.
Yep. I'm going to
It's
guess
epic.
that he died from drugs.
Drugs
Oh, is it?
or peaceful stabbings.
Let's find out. Scroll past his loser family. Well, oh yeah, he's fatter than I am. I wonder why he had issues in hospital. In the prison.
Wait, who's the fact? Who are we talking about? The guy to the right or left?
Yep, the guy to the far right.
All right. I mean, I'm fatter than him. I think. I can't tell.
Right, so he was found unconscious in his cell at the prison. Authorities confirmed he died.
It was Epstein.
Yeah. Australian
Probably.
Epstein.
Oh god.
The cause of the death is unknown. Well, he was found unresponsive in his cell. I'm guessing assorted heart disease or suicide.
I mean, it's not unlikely.
Suicide is not our fucking problem. And like
Unless
everything,
it is.
yep. And this is what so they go on to whine. The family is waiting for the results of an autopsy, and police and corrective services are investigating the death, which will be subject to a coronial inquest. But that process could take years. Well, what the fuck would you like us to do then? Just assume that he was murdered and execute all the prison guards? Oh wait, that's exactly what you'd like. Apparently, one of them saw the cell where a father had been found unresponsive. It was extremely distressing, Sue said. Yes, that is how prison cells work.
Yeah, it's almost like they're not nice places.
Who
It's
knew?
almost like they're designed to punish you.
Yeah.
Well, in Norway, we have them for the thing called rehabilitation. It works sometimes. Not always. But
Yeah,
sometimes.
but the problem is that your natives have integrated with civilization.
Some.
Well, they had to or get killed.
So, news
Never
reached
say never.
discount Australian Sean King. He said,
Sean
when an
Lennon?
Aboriginal death occurs in custody, I just become speechless and basically block the world out for a day because I just don't want to deal with society. You do realise that people die, and occasionally that happens to be in a prison, right?
I mean, no, not you can't be serious.
Yeah, and of
Nobody
course this
dies in
idiot
prison.
has been campaigning for the Black Lives Matter movement and Aboriginal rights for years. That's nice, so you're a
Fascist.
communist.
I don't approve communists. I will never approve communists, and they can go fuck themselves.
Yep, apparently some idiot
Minecraft.
reckons international scrutiny is needed. I'm sorry, but more black people are shot by the police unarmed than you're complaining about dying in prison from assorted deaths.
Based.
Like, oh, and here's another thing it says. The death of George Floyd in the US brings back traumatic memories for the family of an Aboriginal man who died in Long Bay Prison. Why? Was he a fentanyl addicted piece of shit that liked to abuse pregnant women? Why the fuck would it...
Is it politically expedient? Is that answer politically expedient?
No, it's not.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay, these things stretches.
Yeah. Right, so... this stupid bitch is going to asked the United Nations Human Rights Committee to investigate the case for potential criminal liability. It's the United Nations. What the fuck are they going to find? Even if they find criminal liability, that means jack shit. This is Australia. We aren't part of the communist states of the United Nations just yet.
Yeah, like fucking Joe Biden is like, we need the United Nations to investigate the U.S. for systemic racism. It's like, no. Like, if you want to investigate that with the federal government, fine, but stop like appealing to these like international fucking governments. I don't like it. Like, stop like ceding certain powers or like submitting yourselves to them. It's not good.
Yeah, it's
Britain had a Brexit over this, and it was based.
Yeah. So we've got another one talking about Sydney man becomes ninth Indigenous person to die in custody since March. Notice how at no point have they told you what the other 8 people died from. And notice that they have not told you how many white people died in the same period. At least 470... Okay, here we go. At least 478 Indigenous people have died in custody since the Royal Commission into Aboriginal Deaths in Custody. Would you like to guess what year that happened?
No idea.
1987.
That's a while ago.
Let me get my calculator out, and I will do you some mathematics. You know, some of that evil white supremacy mathematics. So it's 2021 minus 1987. So that's 34 years. 478 divided by 34. 14. 14 people a year. 14 Aboriginal people a year die in custody.
Well, that's not even like accurate either, because it's like, I imagine it's not a like. I imagine it's not like a straight line function on a graph. Like, I imagine that number's been going down over time.
It wouldn't surprise me, but there's also the issue of what a death in custody counts. If 5 shitbag teenagers who all by chance happen to be Aboriginal steal a car, run from the police, crash, and everyone dies, that's 5 deaths in custody.
Really?
Yes.
That's okay. In custody.
Oh my god.
Australian definition of custody is weird.
Yes.
Dude, that's like when mass shooting figures are given. It's like, oh, mass shooting or whatever, or it's like, yeah, but that includes any time like 2 or more people are killed based on certain things, or like when, or like
3 or more
shooting.
people are 3 or more people are injured. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But like 70% of those happened in Chicago on the weekend.
Well, there also was like school shooting statistics, and like one of them was like when school like wasn't in session, somebody around school property accidentally fired a pistol into like the fucking ground. That counted as a school shooting in the statistics.
Oh, here we go. Here's a quote about the
What?
man. Frank always said he was not a free man. He was living under white man's law, and it breaks my heart that he died not a free man. Did he try not committing crimes on white man land?
Well, no, he's right. I mean, if you think about the COVID lockdowns.
He was also in prison, so that's kind of the definition of not being a free man.
Oh.
Yeah, 478 Indigenous people die in custody, yes. Cool. But when you average that out, that's 14 a year. Average that out per month, it's 1.1 per month. I'm sorry, but when you've got like 10,000 people in prison and one of them dies a month, if anything, that seems below the fucking average.
I mean, sense does not exist. So
I mean, plus it's like, the rhetoric just kind of goes completely like the wrong way. It's way too like accusatory. Like I could see there being like a legitimate argument of, okay, this happened, we should like, maybe do some shit here and here because it's, not good when somebody dies in our custody. It's like, yeah, okay, I would get that, but it's being framed as if like, oh, like execution style lynching kind of thing.
Yeah, it's being framed as if they dragged him from his cell and beat him to death.
probably did, right? White supremacy.
Yeah. Like, here's one. Coroner to
White.
launch inquest into death of idiot after Broken Hill police pursuit. That's a death in custody. Because he crashed and died.
Right.
He suffered a
Being a
medical
prisoner
episode.
is like,
He suffered a medical episode during the pursuit, crashed, the cops got to him, attempted CPR, didn't work, and that's the police's fault.
It's not.
It is if you're an idiot and you want to bring a communist terrorist group to Australia.
Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting.
Oh, here we go. The
launch
New
it.
South Wales Premier said there were too many Indigenous people behind bars. Tell them to stop breaking the fucking law.
Again, you're asking for too much.
Well, I'm
Or
the
am
one
I
who...
ju-
Well, no. I'm the one who thinks that they are just as capable of not breaking the law as the white man. These are the ones who
Oh.
think that there's something wrong with them.
Well, I'm trying to see this through the eyes of a, leftist, but hard to say. Hard to
Yeah,
say.
but here's what the stupid bitch said in full. She did not know the circumstances of the man's death, but she can say it's an issue that concerns me deeply. Unfortunately, too many people of Indigenous heritage are behind bars and shouldn't be. Why shouldn't they be? Go on, tell me why they fucking shouldn't be. It's pathetic. Stop committing crimes and you won't go to prison.
if they shouldn't be, point out the law that shouldn't be there.
Yep. It's disgusting and pathetic.
Which, I mean, maybe there is, like, a kind of law that shouldn't be there, right? Like, somebody's in jail for, like, smoking weed, okay. Somebody's in jail for violating Australia's lockdown, okay. But that's not the same thing as,
No, it's
like,
not. Oh, here's one of the men who died. He gained 140 kilograms in 3 years in the prison system. Well,
Oh.
he gained 140 kilos, so he
You mean
died
he
from
starved.
eating too
He
much.
starved. He starved.
You gained 140 kilograms in prison?
Yeah,
Wait,
which is why I keep
140?
telling you, to
Eating
people,
what?
prison food, because prisoners get treated better than the unemployed in Australia.
The fuck?
140 kilo. That's more than twice what I weigh.
Yes.
I weigh that. That is my weight. He ate me.
who's,
Yes.
like, supplying the food to that place? The Heart Attack
Fucking
Grill?
Would fucking
Mickey D's
surprise
got a
me.
friggin' subcontract in Australia by the sounds of it.
Apparently.
By the way, the Heart Attack Grill is, like, fucking hilarious. I recommend all of you look up Heart Attack Grill on YouTube at some point and just watch
Yeah.
the video.
Seen
They
it.
have an
It's,
interview with the owner where he, like, sticks a bag of his former spokesman's ashes on the table.
who died of a heart attack in his place, by the way.
Yeah, and he's like, was it good for business? Yes. Did it line my pockets with money? Absolutely. Did I enjoy that? Absolutely. It's so, like, He's just like everyone just tries this like gotcha shit with him. Like you're a terrible person. He's like, I absolutely agree.
Yeah. And
He
like, as I'm looking, one of these random fucking articles that comes up: 4 arrests in scuffles after peaceful invasion day rally at the Domain. Peaceful. Well, why the fuck were they arrested then, you brain dead illiterates?
Because peace is hated. You know, but fuck it. I can't deal with this shit anymore. It doesn't make sense. It never makes sense, and it will never make sense. I tried, guys.
These people are just so fucking stupid. But it's like, coronial inquest likely after Aboriginal man's death in custody in Victorian jail. Look at these dirty fucking lies. Likely, they say. Likely. No, under Australian law, it is mandatory. You fucking scum. Australia's a racist country that won't do anything about deaths in custody. I'm sorry, but it's as mandatory for all of them to be investigated by an independent body that is not part of the police force. What more do you fucking want? It's fucking pathetic.
I have no idea.
And they don't even have the thing. They don't even have the investigation results yet, right?
No. Like, they're literally saying, oh, it's likely to happen. Well, we know it's not likely to happen, it's guaranteed to happen. Because the law says it must. You know, to protect the rights of convicts.
Right. Makes sense to me, guys.
And he'd been sentenced to 10 years and 3 months with a non-parole period of 7 years over a fatal crash. Oh, but he shouldn't have been in prison. Morbidly obese, gained 140 kilograms in weight from the time went into custody until the time of his deaths. He died weighing 200 kilos, was unable to wear standard prison shoes, and required a walking stick at times to move around. What do they want us to do about it?
I don't know.
They just don't want black people to get Aboriginals to get arrested or convicted or jailed for anything ever.
Wait,
Because they're good guys. They're good boys. All of them.
what was that, student of history? Joe Manchin is going to a GOP fundraiser in Texas? Really? That's fucking based.
Who's that?
Joe mentioned the Democrat?
Yeah, Joe Manchin's like the Democrat senator who's like, yeah,
He's the one in
this
charge of the
shit's-
filibuster, basically.
Yeah, he's like, this shit's like insane. Let's not do that. And the left keeps getting mad at him. Oh man.
The reason is because he's in a heavy purple state. He can't be pro-Dem because he'd be fucked. He's got too many incumbents. Not incumbents, challengers who would best him. So he has to ironically toe the GOP line, otherwise he'd be fucked. It's why he's Styx called him like the kingmaker of the Senate right now, because he essentially has that power.
Yeah. Student of history wants a conversion of the fat guy's weight. His finishing weight was about 1.5 Vorsches.
Into what? Into burgers or?
Burgers
I
or
think-
pounds?
I think,
Pounds would be
one burger
2.2,
is like half a
so
kilo. One
you'd be
burger is like half a kilo.
300 and 315 to like 325. I think.
And that's what he put on, not what he weighed when he
Yeah.
was done.
Yeah. Oh my god! I just realized that. Yeah. Fucking Christ.
Finally, I made the fucking jump. Sorry, guys.
I like how a human being was in prison and somehow managed to increase their weight twice what I do.
Yes.
That's actually
because-
impressive.
Well, it's pretty easy when you understand that in Australia, prisoners are treated better than the unemployed.
Yeah,
Or
there's a
he has
little bit-
massively fat food.
There's a little bit like that in Norway too. But then again,
Yeah.
we treat our prisoners right in order to,
Like
rehabilitate
into
them.
civilized people again. Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to know what all these people that they're complaining about dying in custody died from. And guess what? In most cases, it's not the cops.
Really? What did he die from then?
Oh, excellent. Of course, the first one that comes up, police will not find thousands of people expected to join a protest highlighting Aboriginal deaths in custody. Okay, so they're being racist cunts again. Typical.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay, I just did, the conversion. Like 140 kilograms is like 308.647 pounds, which, if the average burger is 0.3125 pounds, that roughly translates to him gaining 987.6704 burgers.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Dedication.
Here's an example of deaths in custody. Police have recovered the body of a wanted man from waters off Seduna this morning after he swam out to sea trying to evade police. The man's death is being treated as a death in custody. It's utterly pathetic.
Sad.
Like they're saying, Aboriginal deaths in custody reflect the poor health of Australia's democracy. No, it reflects that occasionally people die, and occasionally those people are in prison when it happens. Pathetic. Absolutely fucking pathetic.
Of course. What else would they be?
And it's just constant fucking whining. Like, I've heard of maybe 3 deaths in custody in the last decade that were actually due to police action. Sorry, illegal police action. And all of those were negligence.
Mhm.
Oh, and they want First Nations investigators to probe deaths in custody. Oh yeah, because they won't be biased and lying through their fucking teeth.
Of course not. They would be the good guys. Nothing bad done by them. They're the good guys. I cannot do a good Tucker Carlson.
They didn't do nothings.
Well, obviously, they'll find that they're the good guys. What else would you expect? Well, we know why, because they're obviously biased. So why then is the left saying that they should be in charge of it? Well, it's because the left has a foregone conclusion that they would like to be reached. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Fucking that laugh.
Yeah, I fucking love his laugh.
Yeah.
I also love how he goes into his laugh and then, like, immediately straight-faced again.
Yeah. It's
It's
just
fucking beautiful.
completely just out of left field.
Yeah. So here's another example. 48-year-old woman, held in custody on drug and theft charges, found dead in her cell in the morning. Gee, it couldn't be because she's a drug-fuck piece of shit, could it?
No. It was oppression. It was oppression and white supremacy.
Oh, I see. It
And
was the white
misogyny.
supremacy.
White supremacy and misogyny. All those evil things that
Misogyny.
Yes, misogyny. Misogyny. It's very dangerous indeed. Yes.
Yeah, but every single time it's discovered unconscious in cell, discovered unresponsive in cell, did not wake up in the morning. Yes, people are dying because that's what they do. They're not immortal. And of course, they were having all their special little marches back in March 2020. It's pathetic.
Yeah, you can't expect standards from people who doesn't even know what the fucking word means.
Oh, let's take another look at an example of whining.
Standards.
Unpaid fines law reforms prompted by death in custody of stupid bitch. Jail will be a last resort for fine defaulters in Western Australia. Yes, it always has been, you fucknuts. Sparked by the inhumane death. Oh, really? She died in custody after being locked up for 3 days. Well, why did she die? Right, so she was taken to hospital 3 times during her 3 days in incarceration, and on the 3rd visit died from septicemia and pneumonia. How in the ever-loving fuck is that the police's fault?
Septicemia?
Blood poisoning.
Somebody tells me that's her own fault then, isn't it?
Yeah. But black people aren't responsible for their own actions according to the leftists and the ABC. Oh, and Spoon fucked off
You
at some
see,
point.
now I can't think of the ABC without thinking of the Privilege bridge song rap thing.
Good. They're scum and they should be defunded.
I agree with that.
I don't agree. I love that when he made all of them like the opposite.
Oh yeah. I disagree with that.
Oh dear. So dumb. So fucking dumb. Honestly, they should be embarrassed by the whole thing. A student of history
Yeah.
says she went septic, probably had an infection of some form. Yeah. Which she
Seems
would have
like
got
it.
before she got into fucking prison by the sounds of it.
So, what kind of infection did she get then, huh?
I don't know. Is it possibly something to do with injecting drugs directly into the veins?
Maybe the needle was unclean.
Which
That
is-
couldn't possibly be. Couldn't possibly.
Which is interesting because needles are cheap as the ever-loving shit in Australia.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually heard there's a lot of meth in Australia.
Yeah.
I know that's not done with needles, obviously, but
Something tells me now that you want to go to Australia, don't you?
fuck no. Like, meth is like...
No, meth isn't a
They're
good
dr-
fun one.
Yeah, exactly. They're like drugs that I have done or whatever. There's like drugs that I wouldn't do, but I can at least see the appeal of, like cocaine. And then there's meth, where it's like, why?
Meth just fucks you up.
Yeah.
And ruins your teeth, apparently. Yeah. Oh, they want to reduce the number of Aboriginal adults in prison by 23% by 2028 to 29. Have you considered asking them not to commit crime?
Asking too much again.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. It's always like, we gotta reduce, this number or that number. It's like, no. How about the number actually be, like, fucking, like, accurate? If somebody has committed a crime, yes. If not, no. Like, they're not saying don't, like, falsely imprison people or get rid of stupid fucking laws that people shouldn't go to jail for. No, they're saying we gotta change the numbers of people in prison.
Yeah. And that gets even dumber. We're imprisoning Indigenous people in Western
Damn it,
Australia
Bezic.
at 70 percent
You
higher.
had such a golden fucking opportunity and you blew it.
I know, I did it on purpose.
You have a catchphrase, dude.
Yeah, so we're imprisoning Indigenous people in Western Australia at 70% higher than the national average. Is it because Western Australia is full of fucking Indigenous people? And 30% higher than the Northern Territory. Yes, the Northern Territory and Western Australia are full of Indigenous people. If you've got more Indigenous people, and they commit crime at the same rate as all the other Indigenous people, you'll have more of them in prison, you fucking idiots who don't know statistics. And then they lie that there is systematic discrimination against Indigenous people in our justice system. No. They're systematically let off scot-fucking free. They only go to prison for serious shit for the most part. Like, I mean really serious shit. Like, you're lucky to see them get jailed for car theft.
Really?
Yeah. Especially in Alice Springs, which is in the Northern Territory. They'll be out by the weekend and steal another car. Wish I was joking. Yeah, a student of history says that the number of Indians being arrested on the Indian reservations is pretty high. I wonder why. Stop you thinking with that white supremacy of yours.
How dare you? How dare you? Makes sense?
Yeah. Oh, yep. Here we go. From 2006 to 2019, there were 10,534 prison receptions for fine default only. Of those in prison last year for fine default, 210 were unemployed. Hold on a second. Let's do some maths with some very blunt averages. So, 2006 to 2019.
Math doesn't have an S on it.
Does in every other country. Screw you. So, over 13 years, 10,534. And I've done the math wrong, but that's okay. I've done it backwards. 10,534 divided by 13. So, if we say 810 a year, on average, so approximately a quarter are unemployed. Okay. And so what you're telling me is that 3/4 of the people weren't unemployed.
Really?
Also, in Australia, you can pay your fine off at $10 a fortnight.
Interesting.
So they defaulted because they're idiots. Just constant
hate
fucking
myself right now.
whining.
Of course they are.
We're too dumb to not commit crime, therefore it's white people's fault.
Makes sense to me.
Like
I
this. We've lost
guess.
hundreds of lives and had a royal commission, so what will it take to stop Indigenous deaths in custody? For them to stop committing crime. Stop breaking the fucking law. You assholes.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
Literally.
Hey, I'm playing the first boss, actually.
Oh, nice. Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it is the rapey motherfucker.
Yep, and
Seriously.
another one. Man dies in car crash after early police pursuit. After earlier police pursuit, prompting death in custody investigation.
Of course.
Northern Territory Police said officers came across a single vehicle rollover on the Plenty Highway. They said the vehicle had been involved in an earlier pursuit by officers, but the chase was terminated prior to the crash. Right, so someone runs from the police, loses the police, crashes and dies later, and that's the police's fault.
Oh boy.
How vibrant.
Very much so.
Yes. Very much so.
Yes, student of history is based.
That
Banned.
does not surprise me. Student is a good boy. I approve of student. He's a
Yeah,
good
it is math, and you know why? It's because we Americans rule the fucking world! You look up and you see a face like mine looking down at you!
America didn't invent math, but okay.
It's maths because it's short for mathematics.
No, you look up and see a face like mine looking down at you! I rule, you pieces of shit!
Also, right in Norwegian. Remember that his voice cracks too, like twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's another example of how dumb people in Australia are. So, the Police Ethical Science Command is investigating the death of a 44-year-old Brisbane woman in the watch house, but prisoner advocate Debbie Kilroy says it's inappropriate for police to investigate themselves. You daft cunt. The police investigate themselves, then the outside organisation investigates them, and then the coroner investigates them. Of course they're investigating themselves, you stupid cunt. It's like saying that it's inappropriate for, I don't know, God, for builders to investigate why they freaking hit their thumb with a hammer or something stupid. It's just so fucking annoying.
Yeah, this guy is definitely the most rapiest the character in Zelda history, aside from Tingle.
Yeah. And of course, police used awful, unnecessary force during arrest, family of local shitbag says. He died after being
Of course.
restrained by officers. Oh no, who cares?
Let me guess, he didn't do nothing.
No. 2 autopsies were conducted and there were multiple possible contributors to his death, including amphetamine use, poor heart condition, a sedative, and the effect of police restraint. Calm down, George. Lay off the drugs. People are fucking pathetic. Hi, I hope you enjoyed this segment from the Sultans of Shadilay podcast.
If you like this segment, please click like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out the full podcast in the description below.